Hey guys, Gillyweed here with the IMBAbuilds audio guide to Harstem's PvT Blink Colossus play. Be sure to check the video description below for a link to the IMBAbuilds website, where you'll find tips on this build and other replays of it in action. In a second, I'll ask you to pause this video while you start a game against an easy AI Terran opponent. Once the game loads, pause it and come back here. I'll then give you a countdown and you can resume your game. Ready? Pause the video. Welcome back. Get ready to unpause the game and start your first probe in 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You just started your first probe. Keep making them. You'll warp in your first pylon after starting your 9th probe. Warp in a pylon when you get 100 minerals. Your pylon should finish around the same time as your 10th probe. When able, start an 11th probe and chrono boost it out. Chrono boost your Nexus. Use your 12th probe to warp in a gateway before mining. Warp in an assimilator as you get the resources. Chrono boost your Nexus. Send your 15th probe to warp in a pylon at the ramp before mining. Put 3 probes on your assimilator. When your gateway finishes, start a cyber core. Chrono boost your Nexus and start a Zealot at your gateway. This Zealot should be cancelled if there's no aggression from your opponent by the time you start your 2nd Nexus. Send a probe to your natural. If there's no aggression there, cancel the Zealot and start a Nexus. Halt probe production after this one. When it finishes, start a mothership core and chrono boost it out. Start warp gate research and warp in another assimilator. Then warp in a pylon. You should be at 23 supply. Warp in a stalker. When it finishes, put 3 probes on your assimilator. Chrono boost the Nexus. At 100 gas, warp in a robo facility where it can't get sniped by a drop. Start another stalker at your gateway. Change your main's rally point to the natural's minerals, transfer any excess probes there, and start probe production when your natural finishes. Chrono boost the natural. Warp in a pylon and start another stalker. Use your stalkers to ward off reapers or take watchtowers and scout the front of the Terran base if he went for a CC first build. Warp in 2 assimilators at the natural and start an observer. Warp in a pylon. Put 3 probes on each of your assimilators and transform your gateway into a warp gate. Send your observer to scout the Terran main. Start a robo bay and another observer. Against early Widow Mine drops, position units defensively and consider delaying Colossus tech for more observers. Chrono boost both of your nexuses. Warp in a Twilight Council and a forge where a drop can't snipe them. Send your second observer to watch a common attack or drop path. Warp in a sentry. Chrono boost your nexuses and warp in 2 pylons. You should have around 55 supply. Start a Colossus and +1 ground armor. Chrono boost the forge. Research blink as you get the resources. Chrono boost out the Colossus. Warp in 2 pylons. Research extended thermal lance and warp in another pylon. Chrono boost the natural and the robo facility. Your first Colossus should finish around 9 minutes. At that point, you should have 1 Colossus, 3 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, a Mothership Core, 2 Observers, and around 50 probes, or about 70 supply. You can transition either economically or to an all-in. For an economic transition, get 4 or 5 more gateways while continuing upgrades and taking your third when it's safe. For a 2-base all-in, get the ground weapons upgrade instead of ground armor, and get 7 gateways after starting your first Colossus. Be sure to replace any lost observers while transitioning, as they are most important for defending multi-pronged aggression. Good luck and have fun!